Okay, so next thing, actually next method we are going to study today, that is DM, that is direct method. And this direct method is very direct, as its name suggests. Its name suggests, that means grammar translation method suggests that grammar and translation in the same way. Direct method, its very name suggests that it is very direct, in which way you will be getting the answer next time. And just like the GTM, it has several names. That is natural method, phonetical method, anti-grammatical method, and reform method. At the ending portion of our previous section's class, we said that after 1940 decades, linguists, researcher, critic, they claimed many things against grammar translation method. And they said that actually through GTM we are teaching and learning language, that grammar translation method or language teaching and learning method should be reformed. And after such kind of continuous appeal and criticism of the linguistics and researcher, we got a method after GTM that is called direct method. And for this reason, direct method is called reform method. Reforming grammar translation method, we have got the first method in English language teaching or foreign language teaching, that is it is anti-grammatical method. It means that there is no grammar over here, is it? It is no grammar. No grammar, not in that sense. Grammar portion will be less important over here. Without grammar, language cannot be learned and taught, isn't it? But however, grammar is less important there. In case of GTM, it is focused that you should be perfect and accuracy. Perfect and accuracy, that is the core point of grammar translation method. But in case of DM, grammar is less important. If you make some mistakes, that would be treated, oh, well done. So it is anti-grammatical method. And phonetical method in such a way, we know the phonetics will be starting the pronunciation of a language. That means we have Bangla language, we have also phonetics, okay, in which way we will be pronouncing the Bangla each and every words and sentences. In the same way, in case of direct method, pronunciation accuracy is important, okay. In case of GTM, grammatical roles is important, grammatical accuracy is important, but in case of direct method, that one important aspect, that is phonetics, that means the pronunciation of the word you are. And natural method, that means you have to learn language naturally through the natural process. We said a little bit from the initial 2 or 3 classes that natural approaches will not intimidate the learner. The learner will not be afraid in case of learning a language. In that sense, direct method can also be called natural method, okay. So in case of language learning, there are so many languages. We have got the history that nearly 7,000 languages are there in this world. So in every word, okay, there are several expressions will be there. And we look over there, the picture, the image indicates that actually some boys and girls, we don't know actually the picture, they are the boys or girls, that might be, they might call the learners. And the learners, they are in a group and they are in a enthusiastic and joyous moment, okay, and they are speaking, oh wow, we speak English really well. Oh, I go to the method of English school, language school. Oh, okay, that is the expression of the learner. I am not afraid to talk analytical, anything anymore. Me neither. That means in case of grammatical method, they had been GTM, they had been reading and writing, but in case of direct method, they had been speaking, oral communication, and that was the core point against GTM. That GTM didn't put much emphasis on speaking and listening. So with that method we have come. So we have seen me neither, come and try. That means introduction will be there. So 90% or 80%, I can't see, 90% of this method deals with the speaking component of the learner. That means we have to have oral communication. How we can make the oral communication to enhance our speaking quality or capability. Okay, so that is a direct method. So direct method is named direct because meaning should be connected directly with the target language without translation into the native language. So in case of GTM, there were ample opportunity of using the target language, first language or mother language or L1. But here direct method is just like, no, not a single word of first language will be used in the case of teaching and learning the target of foreign language. That is direct method. That is directly you have to attack. What? You have to attack the target language. And why it is necessary? It is necessary just like the Oxford Advanced Learner Dictionary. That means when you will be learning, speaking all the time in English, then you can make meaning in the target language. That was the leakage in case of GTM. GTM এ যেটা ছিল যে বাংলা ভাষায় কথা বলার জন্য আপনারা স্বপ্ন ইংলিশে দেখতেন না. GTM was intended to make you dream and sleep in the target language. At the time of sleeping, you will be dreaming not in your mother language. It will be sleeping in your and that is the why there is no single word will be used in direct method class. Okay, so it is the positive side in one sense, and at the in another sense it is negative sense. Okay, that means it is very tough for the learners and the teachers always be in an English speaking environment. Okay, and for this reason it is both positive side and negative side of these learners. So history suggests that the direct method, also called natural method, was established in Germany and France again. The scholars of Germany did this around 1900. Okay, actually the criticism against GTM started from the very initial stage of the 20th century. Okay, so after GTM, the first method we have got, that is, it appeared as an answer to the shortcomings to the grammar translation method, as I have said. That is, grammar translation method had shortcomings, especially enhancing the pronunciation capability and the speaking quality of the learner. So, founding the leakage of grammar translation method, this direct method started its journey. So, it is attributed to the history of grammar translation method. GTM, direct method. It is a method for teaching foreign language that uses the target language, disregarding any usage of mother language in the classroom. Okay, there was some procedure was there in case of English speaking English medium schools or some persons. Okay, that means in order to speak fluently in English language or the target language, there was a game. What type of game? It was said that if a student mispronounce or use a Bangla word in the class, 10 taka will be found. For one Bangla word will be 10 taka will be found. Okay, so in such a way, what is the intention? Intention that there will be no usage of the target language. And just what is the target? Target that you have to make meaning in the target language, and the cognition will be developed. So discarding any usage of the mother tongue in the target in that case. So who is that component? Actually component, most probably you have heard this name earlier in the first or second classes most probably. Okay, Francois Guin, a French linguist. Again, GTM was the German scholarship, and this is the French, who was a pioneer of what is now known as language acquisition studies, and who pushed for language teaching reform. Stephen Krashen cites him as a case study for language acquisition. So Stephen Guin is the pioneer of this direct method. So this is a French brainchild, that is direct method. In the first half of the 19th century, French linguist Francois Guin attempted to build language learning methodology observing the child language acquisition. We have told it earlier. Actually, Francois Guin, he said that, does a child attend school? Does a child know the grammar? So how do they learn first language? Naturally. So this is the Francois Nguyen. He observed the child language learning process, and he said that child learns language naturally. If we can apply that approach, that language learning and teaching will be successful. And for this reason, this language is called natural method. What was the context? That is the observing the child language learning. And towards the end of the 19th century, other reformers like Nguyen turned their attention to the naturalistic principles of the language learning. This is why the most of them refer to advocate a natural method of language learning and teaching. Okay. Another one, philosopher Michael D. Montaigne, not gay, Montaigne. He is known for popularizing the essay as the literary genre. His work is noted for its merging of the casual anecdotes or autobiography with intellectual insight. Montaigne had a different influence on number of Western writers. His massive volume essay contains some of the most influential essays ever written. So he is a writer, and he is another critic and philosopher and French philosopher. He initiated the language learning teaching. In fact, throughout the history of language teaching and learning, various attempts have been made to make second language learning more like the first language learning. That means the natural way, as I have said, that children do not attend school, but they learn language naturally. So if you can apply such kind of natural method in case of learning second, third, fourth or foreign language, that would be quite easy, understandable and friendly and natural. And that is the concern of the scholars and linguists through the first half to the second half of 19th century. In 16th century, for example, French philosopher Michel Montaigne described how he was instructed to a guardian to explain to situation of his Latin learning at his own ear. Actually, Montaigne explained in an essay that what was the situation of the first language learning. I have said that accuracy was there. That means the guardian, you have to learn English. Why? Okay, one of my friend, he said his daughter studies in nursery. He said, my daughter has memorized 45 rhymes in English. And okay, first is, that means the guardian pushed him to memorize. A 4 to 5 years girl was pushed to memorize 45 rhymes. This is the one kind of torture, isn't it? Okay. And that was the situation of that if anybody, any student would make a mistake of spelling of one word, the student would go for severe punishment. And that was the story mentioned by the Montaigne, that actually the guardian, why? The guardian was inspired with some severe mentality. The mentality is that you have to be perfect. And that mentality initiated which one? The perfection and accuracy of grammar translation method. So what is the contribution of Montaigne? Montaigne said that language learning shouldn't be so much strict, severe and intimidating. Language learning should be natural. So quoting a history of a guardian intentions. Quite similar incident happened to Montaigne's life. And his father wanted him to speak Latin well. Okay, so actually if you can, we can teach a word to a parrot if you can repeat it 4,000 times. So repetition is a process of learning language, but this is not the natural. Okay, so that is the concern of these direct methods. In addition, American linguist Lambert Souveille, who was 63 works in 23 publications in 3 languages and 1,429 library holdings, used intensive oral instruction in the target language. Actually, direct method advocates oral communication, and for this reason it is called communicative or anti-grammatical method. In a way of asking question that can be termed as presenting and eliciting language. Okay, so this oral method can be a new way of teaching language and learning language. Lambert Souveille opened a language school in Boston and in USA, in 1860 decades, and his method was referred to the natural method. Actually, Subhe didn't call his direct method. He started his school and started a teaching language, and he called this method, he had been following natural method. But direct method will have another name that can be called natural method. That is Lambert-Subhe. Okay, so Lambert-Subhe's direct method can be called natural method. Subhe and other believes that the natural method argued that a foreign language could be taught without translation, as we have taught it earlier, as well as without the use of the learner's native language. So no translation will be there and no first language will be there at the time of teaching and learning language. That was the concern of direct method, and that was advocated by Subhe, Lambert-Subhe, and some other scholars. Okay. According to them, meaning of the target language should be conceived directly through demonstration and action. Through demonstration and action. Through demonstration and action. Okay. Actually, meaning making. Other method will make you will make you so much happy. That means these words, demonstration and action. And for this reason, you will be speaking at the time you will demonstrate. Demonstrate means at the time of presentation you are demonstrating your knowledge skill. And action means what type of action? That means you are supposed to do some activities. What are the activities? Grammar translation method, you know the vocabulary of 1 lakh words, but you can purchase a thing from a shop, super shop in UK or USA. You know the word, but why you cannot able to? That means what is your action? It is the action. That means, yeah, I can say you, okay, make a phone call to US Embassy and get the requirements of Fulbright scholarship. Then you have to do, you know 1 lakh vocabulary in grammar translation method. But what is the action? The action, that means you have to get the information from the US Embassy, making a phone call. That means you have to the oral communication. So action will not be there. Action oriented vocabulary you do not learn. And for this reason, grammar translation method vocabulary is unusable. It not applicable in our day-to-day action and demonstration. Demonstration, that means the presentation. So that was the direct method. So Lambert-Subhe is one of the precursor of direct method, and Lambert-Subhe, a friend, origin and teacher of the foreign language, he considered one of the precursors of the direct method in the USA in 19th century. So Subhe and the other believes the natural method argued a foreign language could be taught without translation and the use of the mother tongue in general. Okay. So that is the direct method. So direct method in teaching language can be the definition. What might be the definition of direct method? Direct method is in teaching a language is directly establishing an immediate and audio-visual. What you see here, that is audio. But if you provide you a texture, okay. Naturally, many child can't understand what is meticulous. The word meticulous, we have used this. Meticulous means calculating. Meticulous, wisely activities. So, in order to understand that word, if you put a picture, that means a person is doing this activity with the help of calculator, image or something else. That is called visualization. Let's give another example. That is angry, the word. If you want to put a man, he is very angry, then that is called visualization. The angry word will be visualized with a picture or an image. That person is who is very much angry. That is called audio visualism. In direct method, such kind of application will be there. You will be listening in one hand and you will visualize the target word. And through the audio and the visualization, the meaning making of the target language will happen to you. So audio visual association between experience and expression. Experience and expressions. Words and phrases, idioms and meanings, roles and performance, everything audio visual. So listening, how? Actually, what is the most important reading skill? Which reading habit will help you more? What is the first reading skill? Among the reading skill, among reading, writing, speaking and listening, what is the most important? Why? Reading. Reading in which way? My point is that whenever you will read, you are reading, but simultaneously you are listening to yourself. Okay? Reading and listening will be there, and so cognition will be there. So reading and listening, but once upon a time reading cannot be a habit. Okay? There are several kinds of reader. Slow reader, fast reader, and medium reader. Okay? In which way you will be reading? Putting your slide over there. Some will be reading in such a way. Some will say is reading, and some other will be creating. So at the time of reading, so reading is a habit and it is also a skill, and that is also important. So in order to performance through the teacher's body and mental skill without any help of the learner's mother tongue. So such kind of idioms, phrases, rules and performance through the teacher's body and the mental skill without any help of the learner's mother tongue. So direct method is a language learning teaching method, and that will be help with the immediate audio-visual application with demonstration and application with action. And in that regard, we have got another scholar. A scholar, his name is F. Frank. He said that on the psychological principle of direct method, he said that between forms and meaning in the target language provided a theoretical justification. So form and meaning, as I have said, that is there will be a picture, and the picture will insert it in your brain, and that will form a meaning. So how a form can create a meaning in the mentality of the learner's brain, that is the concern of F. Frank, not any Frank at Dye. According to Frank, language could be best taught by using in activity in the classroom. In using in the activity. Okay, in using in the activity, suppose most of you have seen the puzzle word, isn't it? When you use to necessarily use this puzzle word. So if you put it together, and if I say the mix the connect the puzzle words. So in the class work, in the class activity, that would be helping the learner's acquisition, that is the understanding capability. That is the concern of Frank, F. Frank. Rather than using analytical procedure that focus on explanation of grammar rules and classical, actually you have said that is actually such kind of analysis or activity in the classroom. Activity in the classroom, that can be the puzzle of the game, that can be the interaction, that can be the dialogue, that can be the conversation, that can be the gossiping, that can be chatting. All are the action done by the learners. Frank said that this kind of activities are much better than analyzing of the grammatical rules. ভার্বের পরে linking words কোনটা বসবে? What is the definition of linking verb? How many linking verb will be there? What is the definition of gerund? What is the definition of participle? Okay, these are the analytical perspectives of the grammatical rules of a language. So Frank said that would not be effective, and that would be effective for GTM, but direct method is opposite to GTM. So he said that yes, this is puzzle words, conversation, dialogue, interaction between teachers and student to student, that are very much important in case of DM. Teacher must encourage direct and spontaneous of the language in the classroom. Blow gently over my garden, wind of the southern sea. In the hour my love comes and calls me. Blow gently, চুমিয়া যেও তুমি দক্ষিণ সমভূমি, দক্ষিণ সাগরের সমীরণ, যে শুভক্ষণে আসবে প্রিয়তম, ডাকবে নাম ধরে অকারণ। আমার কথা না, রবীন্দ্রনাথের কথা। ওকে, কবিরা বলেছেন দ্য এক্সপ্রেশন অফ এ স্পন্টানিয়াস মাইন্ড। সবসময় আপনার মন ভালো থাকে না, যখন মন ভালো থাকে তখন আপনি কবি হয়ে যান, সাহিত্যিক হয়ে যান, ফিলোসফার হয়ে যান। ওকে, and Frank said that yes, teacher must encourage and direct and spontaneous, এমন ভাবে inspire করবে। That is the teacher's role. Teachers will inspire you in learner in such a way that everybody will be a poet, a philosopher, a linguist. So the direct and spontaneous usage of the language in the classroom, that is, language learning would then be able to induce less grammatical roles. So in that case, when language learning will be spontaneous and natural with much enthusiasm, then there will be no effort and there will be no grammatical roles. In direct method, the teacher placed the textbook in the early stage of the learning. Okay, replaced. Okay, this is the textbook, as I have said. That is, there are some textbooks, there is a process and methods written by Rogers and Richard. Okay. So in the direct method, teacher will put the textbook aside from the very beginning of the class. So the textbook is there, now we are in the class. Okay, so you start chatting, you start gossiping, you start conversing. Oh, but everything you will be doing. Speaking begin with systematic attention to the pronunciation. Phonetical method. It is called phonetical method. Okay, so you can make a phone to US Embassy. Just, sir, may I speak to Mr. Franco? And in that person, sorry sir, would you please repeat? That means you are speaking English, but he can't understand. Again, you are saying, I want to speak Mr. Franco. Sorry, pardon me, I can't hear you. Actually, উনি আপনাকে শুনতে পেরেছেন, কিন্তু উনি আসলে বুঝতে পারেননি. It depends on whenever oral communication is there. So you are supposed to make a communication. If communication is not happened, that is not the effective communication. And communication will be made effective if your pronunciation is okay. So direct method is initiated that the oral communication, and for the perfect oral communication, your pronunciation just like the, not like the native speaker, but close to the native speaker, to make your meaning clear to the person you are speaking to, isn't it? And for this reason, pronunciation attention should be given in pronunciation in direct method. Known words could be used to teach new vocabulary. Known words, okay, as actually said that in case of GM, that is the unusable vocabulary list over there, but here usable. What can be used with the new one will be added with your old one. So in that case, you will be making your vocabulary larger, and at the same time you can use in your practical life. That means in eating, meeting, sitting, eating, gossiping. Okay, everywhere you can use, and using mimes, demonstration and pictures. These are the natural methods or language learning principle provided the foundation of direct methods, which refers to the most widely known as the natural method. Okay, so enthusiastic supporters of direct method introduced it in France and Germany. So after getting such kind of positive side of direct method, okay, many linguists started teaching following this method. Which method? Direct method in Germany and France. Direct method widely known in the USA taught through its use by Souvenir and Maximilian Berlich. Another Berlich, Subey and also Berlich in the successful commercial language school, that means the private schools. Berlich in fact never used the term. Berlich started teaching in Berlich's method. He said he had been following the principles of direct method, but he didn't call it, he called it Berlich's method. Okay, so he started the teaching. That is German Jewish immigrant Maximilian Delphinius Berlich. Okay, so he started. His mass is bigger than me. Yeah? So Berlich. Okay, so there are some principles of direct method. Classroom instruction was conducted exclusively in the target language, as we have told it earlier. Only everyday vocabulary and sentences are taught. Everyday vocabulary, that means the common thing. They are mother, mom, would you please give me a glass of water? Why I will be giving you? Go over there and fetch a jug of water and get it. Okay, so the common things that will be used in day-to-day activities, what you are supposed to do, that would be the syllabus and the component and the vocabulary list in direct method. Oral communication school were built up in a careful graded progression organized around question and answer exchange between teachers and students in small and intensive classes. Small and intensive class. In GTM we said that we can control the student consisting of 300 students, but in direct method classroom should be small and extensive number. A maximum number can be 25. Why? Among the 25 students, all students will be involved in asking and answering question. Okay. Grammar taught inductively, indirectly grammar will be taught. New teaching points are introduced orally. New teaching points, whenever I will be orally, they will be speaking, not written. Concrete vocabulary was taught through demonstration. Objects, as I have said, that visualization will be there, pictures will be there. Abstract vocabulary was taught by association of ideas. Association of idea, okay. So once upon a time, there was a king. That king was very benevolent and kind. One night, the king went out and observed that the old woman was crying in his heart. Then the king returned back and home and get some food and water and other things to that old woman house. Actually, you want to teach the abstract idea. Abstract idea, kindness. Kindness, you want to know, let you, the student, know the meaning of kindness. So the kindness, that meaning will be taught in the class in the direct method through the association of some incidents or object or story. That is the in case of direct method. Okay, so abstract idea will be there, and both speech and listening comprehension are taught. Speech and listening comprehension, not only with the speaking. That there will be some audio will be there. So you will listen. Visualization will be there, just like the movie clip or video clip. In that case, you will do both. You will have the sound and you will visualize that. But in some cases, some audio recording will be there, so that you can also understand a thing after listening. Kono kichu shune je apni bujhte parchen. In that case, in case of IELTS listening test, some are the dialogues and even some are the one speaker will be speaking. That is, yeah. So that is the audio speaking practice. So correct pronunciation and the grammar were emphasized. Correct pronunciation and grammar. আমরা এটা বলেছি অনেকবার আগে. So here there are some: never translate, demonstrate, never explain, act, never make a speech, ask question, never imitate mistakes, correct, never speak with a single word, use sentences. Okay. Once upon a time I would say that, yes sir, how can I learn vocabulary? Okay, there are some techniques will be there. That means visualization, object picture. Apart from that, I would say, or many students will say that, yes, know the meaning of a word and try to know the uses of a word in a sentence. If you only know the meaning of the word, you don't know the word. You have to know the usage of that specific word in sentences. I would say that 3 sentences. Okay, and that if you can give the examples in 3 sentences of a new word, then that word will confirm in your brain. So use sentences. Never speak too much. Make a student speak much. And never use the book. Use your lesson plan. Never jump around. Follow your plan. Jump around from আজকে এখানে কালকে ওখানে এরকম না. Follow your plan. Never go too fast. Keep the space of the students. Okay. And never speak too quickly. Speak normally. Never speak too slowly. Speak normally. Never speak too loudly. Speak normally. So normal and natural approach. Never be impassioned. Take it easy. Impassioned. As a guardian, you can say, oh, তুমি এটা করতে পারো না, তোমাকে ফাস্ট হতেই হবে. ফাস্ট না হলে আমরা এটা বুঝতে পারতাম যে আসলে অনেক সময় আগে হতো, এসএসসি পরীক্ষার রেজাল্ট হয়ে গেলে সেদিন আমরা সঙ্গীয়ান থাকতাম যে কোন কি বাচ্চা কি হলো. ঠিক আছে, কারণ কি অ্যাকচুয়ালি if you put pressure on the learners, okay, they will not take it easy. Okay, take it easy. Naturally you will make mistakes. That is the, if I would not make mistake, so I would not be the students. I would be Albert Einstein, isn't it? Okay, so take the mistake and take the unconscious, every learning phenomena, take it easy. Okay, that is the situation. So direct method was quite successful in the private school, but it was not quite successful in the public schools at the time, because everything is not out of criticism, because it is overemphasized and distorted the similarities between naturalistic first language learning and the classroom foreign language learning. Okay, so there is a mixture of natural approach and the foreign language learning, that means child language learning. So that is the criticism. It lacked a rigorous basis of the applied linguistics theory. Okay, so GTM started rigorously for reading and writing, and direct method started rigorously for speaking and listening. So they omitted the other two components, and for this reason mentioned above, direct method was criticized by the language expert to reform of the reform movement. Okay, so there are several drawbacks. Drawbacks means pronunciation will be there, so it requires native speakers teachers or a teacher that should have the native speakers like pronunciation and fluency. That is the drawbacks in order to make meaning of the words of the target language. It was largely dependent on the teacher's skill. Actually direct method will be successful with the teacher's skill. So what the fluency and accuracy will be the teacher delivering, in the same way learner will be receiving. So it is one of the negative point of the direct method, that it's depend on the teacher's skill. All teachers might not be proficient enough in the foreign language. Okay, that is one of them. For this reason, direct method might not be successful. Strict application of the direct method becomes counterproductive. Why? Since teachers were required to describe avoiding native language, something as simple and a brief explanation of the student's native language would be murder. Okay, suppose সাধারণ একটা ওয়ার্ডের বাংলা যদি আমরা ইংরেজি অর্থটা যদি বাংলায় বলে ফেলি, যত সহজে শিক্ষার্থীরা বুঝতে পারে, কিন্তু ডিরেক্ট মেথড একদম কি দিয়েছে, দিয়েছে যে কোনো প্রকার বাংলা ব্যবহার করা যাবে না। এই জন্য সাধারণ একটা ওয়ার্ডকে শিক্ষার্থীদের বোঝাতে টিচারদের অনেক ব্যাক পেতে হয়। ওকে, সো নো বেঙ্গলি ওয়ার্ডস উইল বি দেয়ার or the native language will be there, so it is also a negative side of direct methods. So Roger Brown also found such kind of methodology in direct methods. Okay, so direct method is regarded the first language teaching method to have caught attention of teachers and the learner teaching specialists, and it offered a methodology and that appeared to move language teaching into a new era. Actually direct method will have some criticism, of course every method will have some criticism, some positive side will be there, but the most one positive thing of direct method is this, that with the direct method actually GTM method was replaced and we got a method in the way so many new era of language learning and teaching methodology started to came into existence. That is one of the positive sides or advantages of direct methods. Okay, so this is our oral methods. There are some direct methods advantages and disadvantages of there, so hopefully you will be enjoying. Okay, so thank you.